Hi, guys. Today we're covering direct variation, which is a certain special type of a linear function. It's not part of a unit. It's just a little something extra that I'm exposing you to. So direct variation is a specific relationship in which there is a constant ratio, which is y over x, between all ordered pairs. The direct variation equation is written in the form of y equals kx. For our purposes to remember, k is the same as the m, which is slope. Finding the constant k, in order to do that, you identify the constant of ordered pairs below, then write the equation to represent the relationship. So what we're doing, the constant, the k, is always found y over x, because that's the ratio. The constant is that ratio of y over x. So I'm doing the 4 into the 1. So I'm going to have 4 over 1. 8 over 2 simplifies to 4 over 1. 12 over 3 simplifies to 4 over 1. 16 over 4 simplifies to 4 over 1. Because all the same, my k is equal to 4, because 4 over 1 simplifies to 4. So my equation is y equals 4x. To answer this, we have two answers. What k equals, which is the constant, and then we have to write the equation, and that equation is in the form of y equals kx, which is this right here. So this is 1, this is part 2. So this is part 1, this is part 2. So that's like from ordered pairs. When it's in a table of values, remember, the k is always found y over x. So therefore, I'm doing the -8 into -12. So we have to find k. It's going to be -8 over -12, which simplifies to 2 over 3. So therefore, I have found my k for my equation. It's y equals 2/3 x. Part 1. Part 2. Notice for the table, I didn't do all of the scenarios because it already tells me that this is a direct variation situation. I'm not being asked whether it is or not. Looking at the equations, we have to identify the equations below that represent a direct variation. So we only want a yes or a no if it's a direct variation. If it is a yes, then we have to tell what the constant of variation is. What does k equal? Okay, so for number 6, it is in the form of, as long as the equation is in the form y equals kx, it looks like this, then it is a direct variation. This looks like that, so therefore this is a yes, and my k is -4/5. Looking at number 7. Well, this looks similar, but the problem is there is no x. So therefore, this is no direct variation. DV for direct variation. Jumping down, we're going to look at number 12. Well, you'll notice this does not look like it. So I have to solve for y. So subtract 4x, subtract 4x, and we have 2y equals -4x plus 6. Divide by 2 to everything. And we get y equals -2x plus 3. What makes this one wrong is there is addition or subtraction. This one is no, because we have an actual number that is added or subtracted to it. It does not look like y equals kx. 13. Still got to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 5x, subtract 5x. Y equals negative 5x plus 0. Now, that's not simplified all the way. If I simplify that all the way, it's y equals negative 5x, which is y equals kx form. So this is yes. And my k equals negative 5. Moving along, now we're going to look at it from graphs. For a direct variation on a graph, must go through the origin, which is 0, 0. That means the y-intercept is 0. All right, so I'm looking at 14. It goes through the origin. So therefore, this is a yes. We now need to identify the constant of variation. When I'm finding the graph, that is the k. Remember, that's the same thing as m, which is the slope, which is rise over run. So now I'm going to pick 2 points. Start from the y-intercept. 1, 2, 3. So I'm rising 3. So we have rise over run equals m, which equals k. So therefore that is 3. And my run to the right is 2. So therefore, my k is 3. Now what it doesn't add here, which I want you to add, is write the equation. Write equation. So now that I know what the k is, the equation for this is going to be y equals 3/2 x. Next example. Well, if I look at number 15, right off the bat, this does not go through the origin. So therefore, this is not a direct variation. No, the actual equation for this is going to be, well, my b is equal to 4. My slope is down 1. So it's negative 1 over 2. So my equation for this is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. It's got that plus 4, so that further confirms this is a no. Moving right along. Now because it's a direct variation is a fancy way for saying proportional. Direct variation is just a fancy way of saying proportional, which means when I am solving for a missing variable, set up a proportion. Okay, so for 18, remember to find k, it's always y over x. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do negative 4 over 2 equals y over negative 6. And now I solve my proportion, which is going to give me, we multiply diagonally. So I have 2y equals 24, divide by 2, y equals 12. Next, jumping down to 22, where they're throwing in a little bit more words, but it's still just telling me if y equals -18 when x equals 3, find x when y equals 30. That's pretty much just telling me, okay, I've got the ordered pair 3 comma -18 and x comma 30. And now I solve it just like we did the one before. So I have -18 over 3 equals 30 over x. And now we solve. So we have -18, x equals 90. Divide by -18, and we get x equals -5. Moving right along, we're going to jump to the word problem section because the rest of this you will finish on your own. We're going to actually look at a little bit of this. We've done a lot of that you can fill out on your own. And we're going to go to the, because you're going to do this warm up. We've done that. We're going to look at this page a little bit. No, you can do that. You're not worrying about the inverse variation. So you don't have to worry about this column at all. You're just creating your own 3, doesn't matter what type of examples, okay? And then you'll check this once you're finished with it. Now let's talk about one word problem. Okay. Some key things to remember with this. When we're dealing with no inverse, remember we're just talking about direct variations. In situations where as one variable goes up, the other variable goes up. Or it could be as one goes down, the other one goes down. That means they go in the same direction. Go in same direction. Okay, so the sales at a baseball game vary directly. That's my clue. This is direct variation with the number of people attending. If the sales for a game are 12,000 when 800 people attend, determine how many people will attend if the sales for a game are 15,000. First things first, we've got to label what's X representing, what's Y representing. Okay, with this, the Y is always what depends on the X. Y depends on X. So the money depends on the people, the number of people. So I can set up my proportion where I'm going to have money over people. So I'm going to have 12,000 over 800 equals 15,000 over X. And now we solve. Well, when I'm looking at this, I can cancel out those extra zeros. So I end up with 120 over 8 equals 15,000 over X. Make my equation a little bit easier. And now I've got, no, if I don't, I've got 120x equals 8 times 15 is 120. My brain is not working right now. Zero, 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 4. So now we divide by 120 and we get X equals 1,000 people because you have to have your units. if I'm looking, jump down here and we're going to look at number 5. It's asking us a little bit of a different type of question here. The income of the computer analyst varies directly, direct variation, as the number of hours worked. If the analyst earns $256 for 8 hours, find the constant of variation. That means I'm trying to find what K equals. So we still have to determine what's representing X, what's representing Y. The money depends on the hours, so therefore I have money over hours, which means I'm going to have 256 over 8. We do that division and it actually equals 32. And that is my final answer. That's what K equals. And it's $32 per hour. Actually, the units as well. Okay, finish up all of your must-dos. Have a great day.